Hello everyone and welcome back to another Terraria video, and today I'm going to be talking about every single one of the flails or maces or whatever you want to call them that were added in Terraria 1.4 and the ones before that. Okay, so our first flail of the day is the normal usual mace, and you can find this one in golden chests underground, and it's actually a pretty decent weapon like really early on if you want it. So the way these weapons usually work is you press left click for a long time and it spins around you, and it's a new mechanic. It was added in the Journey's End update, and then it deals damage to nearby mobs, and you can just send it. And right now this is without any armor and any accessories, and if I put on solar armor it deals a lot more damage. But yeah, so I think you can see it has an average of like 200 damage per second, which is pretty horrible to be honest. But yeah, let's summon this King Slime and see how it does against him. And the guy will give us a hand. Okay. Just keep on attack. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't take heart crystals. But yeah, it's not. You can see it does decent damage with the solar armor, but without it, it wouldn't be able to do anything. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But let's move on to our next mace. Our next mace is the flaming mace, which is basically the mace, but it deals damage. It deals fire damage. So you can see it ignites enemies, and it deals the exact same amount of damage, but it just puts them on fire. And you can create it using the normal mace and 99 torches. The next mace in our list, or flail or whatever, is the Bowl o' Hurt, whatever. Yeah, and you can get it in this via the shadow orbs in the corruption area. And it has, with the solar armor, it deals 47 melee damage, and without it deals 34. So yeah, it's actually a pretty decent weapon, and you can see it averages like probably 500 DPS. So I think this can actually kill the King Slime without too much issues. So let's see. Have solar armor on. Yeah, you can see it deals a lot more damage. Okay. But yeah, I don't want to die here, so we'll just take him out. But yeah, you can see it deals a lot more damage, and it's actually a lot more effective than the normal mace. But let's move on to our next mace. Our next mace on the list is the Blue Moon, which can be acquired through the dungeon down below, like the skeleton dungeon. And without solar armor, it deals 62 melee damage, which is not bad at all. And you can see it averages at about 1000 DPS per second, 900 DPS per second, something like that. So let's see how it fares against the King Slime. Yeah, a lot better. You can already tell how much more damage we do. So yeah, just keep on attacking. Yeah, again, I don't want to die. I just don't have any heart crystals. But yeah, it's pretty good overall. You can see it's a lot better than anything else we tested already. Okay, so I actually went ahead and grabbed some hearts, so from now on it will be easier. Our next weapon is the chain guillotines, and yeah, you can get them from corrupt mimics, and they're pretty good overall. And they're not like the other maces we used so far. These are like flails, you just throw them around. So let's throw a King Slime and see how it does. So yeah, you can see it's a pretty good weapon, and it deals a lot of damage overall in a really short period of time. My game froze. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty good overall, and just get rid of everything, all the slimes. Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty decent weapon, not gonna lie. And if you want to get this early hard mode, I highly recommend you get it. And yeah, honestly, it can only attack one target, so it's not really good for DPS. You see only 340. It's good for like bosses and stuff. But yeah, next up we have the chain knife. Yeah, so it's very similar to the chain guillotines, and yeah, it's not that strong honestly, and it has a 250% chance to get to drop by bats, and it's honestly the worst weapon on our list. Like you can see, let me summon the Slime King real quick. Where is he? Why is my FPS so low? It's because of the recording software. You can see it does no damage whatsoever, and I'm using like full solar, not even Oda. You have to click every time. It's really bad, like honestly. So yeah, let's move on in the list. Okay, so our next weapon is the Tao of Pow, and it's an hard mode weapon and can be crafted using 1 dark shard, 1 light shard, and 7 souls of night and 7 souls of light. It deals a lot of damage. Actually, it's a pretty good mace, and you can see it has 160 melee damage with our solar armor, and it has an 80% chance to confuse enemies. So if I hit this one real quick, this sound okay. Never mind, it dies instantly. But it has an 80% chance to confuse enemies. So the enemies will basically be confused and not attack us. So where's this king slime? Hello there. Yeah, let's just kill him. And these are like all of these weapons are pretty good for crowd control, and like especially the maces. They're really good for handling like early game events like slime rain and the goblin invasion. So yeah, these are decent weapons to deal with those problems. So our next mace on the list is the Drippler Crippler. Now it has a decent amount of damage at 177 with our solar armor, and it can be dropped during a during a blood moon from blood eels, and it's actually really good. So you can see if I attack, it drops these projectiles, these balls. See, there is one right there. And every time you release it, it drops another ball. And these are really strong. So let's test our DPS real quick. Yeah, you can see 3000. It's really good. And if you can test it against the King Slime, you'll see that we deal a lot of damage. Just spam. Yeah, so it has a really good like perk, and it's honestly a really good mace to get early on in hard mode if you fish during the blood moon. Our next mace is the Flareon, and Flareon, or whatever you want to call it, and it's a drop from the Duke Fishron, and it's actually a pretty cool weapon. So we test it on the King Slime real quick. You'll see that it deals a lot of damage, and it has these bubbles that come out of it and just deal a lot of extra damage to help out. Like you can see, it's insane. So yeah, let's back up and test our DPS. Our DPS should be incredible, honestly. So oh yeah, actually no. So it isn't like the other maces. It doesn't spin around you, and thus it only hits one enemy at a time. But it has a decent amount of DPS, honestly. It's really good. Our next flail in the list is the Anchor, and this is a really weird one. So it won't come back to your inventory unless you unless you hit something or it hits the ground. So you can see it kind of like goes back down when we shoot it up. So it's a really bizarre weapon, honestly, and it's not that great. Like it doesn't auto click, and it's not great. And you get it in hard mode from wooden crates. So yeah, it's not exactly great. And if we test it against the King Slime, you can see, yeah, it doesn't do well. Like it does decent, I guess, better than the mace, but it's not great. Like there are better options out there. So yeah, my FPS is dying. I don't know why. Check later. It's fine. But yeah, it's it's like kind of garbage. I'm not gonna lie. But you're not going to hunt for it unless you're really insane. Our next mace on the list is the Flower Pow, and it has a 1 in 7 chance to drop from Plantera. And basically, it has 211 melee damage using our solar armor, and you can see it deals decent damage, like 3000 DPS isn't bad at all. But it has a really cool perk where it will shoot projectiles at enemies that are close to it. So yeah, it's pretty cool, and I bet we can beat King Slime really fast with it. So see where he is. Yeah, you can see it shoots these projectiles at him, and yeah, we completely annihilate him. He's destroyed it just like that. Nice. Okay, and this one is really good at crowd control. So yep, a really good like weapon of choice. So our next weapon is the legendary Golem Fist, and it has a chance to drop from Golem, obviously, and it's not bad, but it isn't great. There are other weapons out there, but you can see, so it basically just shoots an arm, and the closer you are to the target, the more DPS you'll do, because obviously the arm will take longer to retract the farther you are, but it's honestly not bad, and I think we can easily beat the King Slime with it. So where is he? Hello, King Slime. We just keep spamming it, and he'll die soon. Oh, came right to me. Okay, and there he is, dead. Nice. So yeah, it's not a bad weapon, but it's not great. Honestly, from the Golem, I would honestly, like, you know, I would prefer getting a possessed hatchet or something like that. So our next weapon is the KO cannon, and this one can be dropped from any enemy during the blood moon, and it has a 1 in 1000 chance. So it's pretty rare. I guess if you play Terraria for a while, you know you probably already got it. And it's basically a Golem Fist, like a Golem's Fist, but a bit weaker. So yeah, it will do the same against the King Slime, I assume. Let's see, like, we'll just kill slower. Yeah, it's just pretty slow. If I get into him, I bet this will be faster. Yeah, so it's not a great weapon, but if like you get a blood moon on your first night during hard mode, I guess, and it drops, I guess it could be kind of useful, but I usually don't use it for anything because it's so rare and you usually don't get it in the stage of the game where you need to get it. But yeah, we only have a couple more flails left, so let's get into it. So our next mace is the Meatball, and this one is basically the equivalent of the Bullet, which is the corruption mace, but this one isn't actually dropped from the Crimson Hearts. This one is actually crafted with 5 tissue samples and 10 Crimtane bars, and it's a little bit stronger than the Bullet, not too much stronger. I'll test it real quick against the King Slime, but you can see it won't do much damage. Like, it's okay because you were using solar armor, and the solar armor deals damage. But yeah, it's a decent weapon early on if you really want it. But other than that, it's not that useful because you must remember you need to kill the brain of Cthulhu to fight, to use it. You actually use it, and you can see it has decent DPS, but not that high. And our last weapon for today is the Sun Fury, and the Sun Fury can be acquired and held from the shadow chests, and it's actually pretty good pre-hard mode. You can see it burns enemies and it has a decent amount of damage. You can see it has 1000 damage per second with 112 melee damage. So where is this King Slime? There you are. Just and get. Yes, my FPS, I love it. It's so great. Okay, yeah, so you can see it deals a decent amount of damage. It's not excellent, but it's not bad at the stage in which you get it. And yeah, I honestly would recommend using it. So yeah, these were all of the flails, maces, whatever you want to call them. They are currently in the game. If I had to pick a favorite, I would probably pick either the crippler and a slime just suicided, Flareon, the Dao or the Flower Pow. Let me know which one was your favorite, and yeah, I honestly think maces are now a huge part of the game. They weren't very useful before Journey's End, but now that they added their new use, which is like, you know, protecting yourself, especially from like, you know, bullets which can be destroyed. For example, the vile spits from the Eater of Worlds, or just anything. These are actually really useful, and they're honestly like probably my favorite weapon type in the entire game. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you found it useful, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya!